Hello everyone, this is Julie. Welcome to my INFO362 final presentation. To start off, I'll present the models I've used in this quarter. On the right, this is my visual language and color model. And this is my typographic model. Here are two outline models. On the left, this is the one I've been using for the first 9 weeks, and the right one is the final version. I'll explain why I changed that later. Before I jump into explaining the details of my infographic, I would like to give a little bit of background on what my topic is about. Cepheid Station. Cepheid Station is a chlorine generator developed by PATH and MSR. Our project is to design and develop a remote monitoring dashboard for the two companies to monitor the device performance and find the best market for the device. My purpose of creating this infographic is to explain the problem and the solution and to show people why this is important. The first thing I will talk about is visual potential. I'll start by explaining the appearance of my infographics. The visual potential of appearance is to convey to audiences what something looks like, or to use audiences' prior knowledge of what something looks like to communicate the topic of the display. In this case, I used the pen tool to draw an outline version of Cepheid Station to show people what it looks like. There are outline versions of chlorine disinfectant bottles that people usually see in supermarkets so that they can easily understand what chlorine is and what this is used for. I also use various icons before descriptions so that my audiences will have an idea of what this is about before reading the text, or they might even not need to read the text at all. These encodings help people to understand the concept more quickly and easily. I could have also used some kind of chemical-related icons as a way of encoding, but I think what I have is better because this is easy to understand for people who don't have background knowledge on chlorine, the generator, and technology. The visual potential of location is to show our audiences positions of things in our topics. The positions are either relative to other things in our topics or where things are in the world. In my understanding, people don't read the text in the infographics very carefully, so visual potential gets us to think about how to express the concept so that people will have the idea at a glance. On the screen, the encoding is a labeled world map that shows where in the future Cepheid Station can be placed. I could have also used country flags as encoding, but I don't think people will recognize all of the flags. There is no map I can emulate from my visual language model. However, as you can see on the right, in my visual language model, all icons or images are in white outlines, and they're usually in thin lines. Thus, I found the world map online in SVG format and modified it so that it's also in white thin outlines. In terms of color model, all texts are in white, the pointing lines are in Tiffany blue, and the name tags are in darker blue, which fully emulated the model. The two different blues are used to highlight the name tags on this map. The tone is calm, orderly, and serious, and the color harmony is analogous. Although the whites have so little saturation that they appear colorless, the two kinds of blues are analogous. All name tags are in the same dark blue, which means they are associated or in the same category, which is where Cepheid Station has the potential to be in, with no exception. The font family of the title is Hoffler text, and its font style is black, which makes it look bold. The descriptive text, including the country name, are in Myriad Pro, which fully emulated the typography model. The name tags are an example of identity label that tells what the line is pointing to. The text on the left are used to annotate about the purpose of the map. The labels use the lines as association strategy to point to the country areas on the map. However, there is a part that departs from the visual language model, which is the country name tags and the lines with circle at the top. In the model, the only pointing lines are in white thin lines with arrows. I didn't fully emulate the white thin lines because I think they don't stand out on this white thin outline versions of map. So is the country name text. I saw white thin outline rectangle with text in it, but they don't stand out either. In terms of visual hierarchy, the title is bigger and is on the left side that draws people's attention first, and the descriptive texts are smaller. Then all of the name tags are in the same size, same color, but they are in different color from the map or the descriptive text, so that they stand out, kind of creates a hierarchy of importance. In terms of unity and variety, all of the texts are in white. All name tag backgrounds are in dark blue. In terms of variety, there are different background colors for the text between the name text and the descriptive text on the left. In terms of alignments, within the paragraphs, all of the texts are left aligned. Between the title and the paragraph is also left aligned. However, within each name tag, the country names is centered in the middle of the name tag. The visual potential of number is to show the number, amount, size, or things of the things in the world using the number, amount, size of things on the page. In terms of visual language, on the screen is a hospital-acquired infection rates in 6 low-income countries. The image on the top is from the visual language model. It has a percentage shown on the outline circles by dark blue and white. The first version of number display I created is on the left side at the bottom. It has circles, and within the circles there are flag, name, and percentage. However, the problem is the circle doesn't show the percentage visually, and the flags in each circle have the colors that are different from the color model. Also, the flags are hard to recognize. So my final version is on the right side. Since the percentage is the most important, it's the largest one in the middle of the circle, and all of the percentage are expressed on the outlines of the circle by the white part, so that people can easily see like how much like the percent is about. Also, there are names at the bottom that shows people what this percentage is from. In terms of color, the dark blue and the white on the circles are exactly from the model. The whites on the dark blue are a way to encode the percentage. There's no highlight because all of the circles have the same colors. And since they have the same colors, they're conveying the same information or trigger association that hospital-acquired infection problem is a real problem and is very serious. The tone of the color is calm, orderly, and business casual. The color harmony is monochromatic. It has the dark blue with the white. However, the white appears colorless because of the little saturation. All of the texts are in white. In terms of typographic, the title is in Hafler text. The font style is black. The descriptive text is in Myriad Pro. There are identity labels, which are the country names, and precision labels, which are the percentage within each circle. All the country names are used to annotate what this percentage is about. The association strategy used here is approximation because either the percentage is within the circle or the country names are really close to the circle. In terms of visual hierarchy, the title is very big and is on the top left part, and so it draws all of the attentions first. And then people read from top to bottom, left to right, which is exactly how I expect them to read. In terms of unity and variety, all of the circles are individual units, and they are in the same color, same font, and same size. However, there is a variety, which is the size of the white parts on the outline circles, which represents like the percentage. In terms of alignments, the title is left aligned, the percentage and the country names are centered, which is the same as the model. The visual potential of relationship is to show connection between things or people in the real world using connection between shape on the page. This is a directional relationship between Sci-Fi Station, hospital, and the two companies, PATH and MSR. In terms of encoding, each small icons indicates what the content of each step is. The arrows encode the direction of the process. The color encoding tells people that the two rows are separated and different. And what is it in terms of? This is explained by the line of text at the bottom, which it says the bottom ones are the most relevant to our capstone group. So the ones that are at the bottom that are in Tiffany blue are what we do as a group. And they are the final three parts of the relationship. I could have also used a relevance graph that shows like how relevant each step is to our group, but this might confuse audiences who don't read the texts really carefully because the relevance graph is not something that people usually see or really familiar with, so it might be hard for them to understand at the first glance. In terms of visual language, there are outline versions of icons and they are not in filled colors. And each icon represents what each step is. They are made of the thin lines. All of the icons they're simplified but toward the details. They are abstract but toward the realistic. So people can understand what this is about. It's realistic, but it's kind of realistic, but it still have far from how real Sci-Fi Station looks like or real hospital looks like. In terms of color, there are two colors for the subtitles. One color to highlight the relevance. So the big title of the section and the subtitles of the first rows are all in dark blue, and the second row is in Tiffany blue. This kind of make the second row stand out because this is more important than the first three because this is what we do. This is the most relevant to us. Each subtitle is a form of identity label that explains what the graphic elements is intended to present. The steps in the same colors show associations, and there are three colors in total: the gray color, dark blue, and Tiffany blue. The gray color has little saturation and is kind of colorless here, so we'll say the color will be dark blue and Tiffany blue. So this the color harmony is analogous as well. So also like the steps in the same colors are associated with each other. In terms of typographic, all of the titles and subtitles are in Hoffler text. The font style is black. The descriptive text and the annotations are in Mary Pro. Each subtitle is a form of identity label that explains what the graphic elements is intended to present. There are gray text that annotate what each step is about. The association strategy is proximity and color. Each subtitle is really close to each individual step, and the color shows shows like which ones are associated with each other. So like the subtitle are both, and the icons are either both in dark blue or both in Tiffany blue. In terms of visual hierarchy, the big title is the biggest one, and it draws people's attentions first, and then it's the subtitle. And then the arrows in between each steps guides people's attention, tell people like how to read it, like from left to right, and then to the next next row from right to left. In terms of unity and variety, all of the steps are in the same format. They all have subtitles, icons, and descriptive text. However, they're different in terms of colors and icons. They're different in colors so that the most relevant steps are emphasized. In terms of alignment, everything is left aligned. It's either within each paragraph, all of the text are left aligned, or between the subtitle and the icon, or the title and the descriptive text, they are all left aligned. In terms of the visual potential of time, it is to convey information about when events occur or occurred in time relative to each other using relative position on the page. This is a timeline from the development of Cepheid Station to its official release. In terms of encoding, the small title of each event and icon indicates what each event is about, and the time of each event is on the left, correspond to the event. In terms of the color, all of the subtitles and big titles and the names and icons are all in white colors. The Tiffany blue rectangle around the capstone word is used to highlight the step, which is the current step. These colors are the same. They're in white. They trigger associations. That means they are all steps of how the development of Cepheid Station is. The tone is really calm and clean and nice, so that it doesn't really have that much emotion in this kind of color, because it's telling like the history or the future. In terms of color harmony, since it has the white, gray, and Tiffany blue, I will say it's monochromatic because of the Tiffany blue. In terms of typographic, all of the title and subtitles are in Hoffler text and in black style, and all of the descriptive texts are in Mary Pro. Also, the time, the years are also in Mary Pro. Each subtitle is the identity label that tells what this event is about. And the time on the left are precession labels. They are numbers that tell exactly when this event happened. The text in gray are used to annotate. And the association strategy is approximation. As you can see, the subtitle and the description are really close to each other. In terms of visual language, it has a really simple arrow made of like a line. It's not really thin, but it's in the same size as how thick the outline of the circle is. And then it has like subtitle with descriptions and icons, just like the visual language model. In terms of the visual hierarchy, it goes from top to bottom as the big arrow indicates. So people will read from the top and they will understand this is the earliest thing that happened. And at the bottom is something that will happen in the future. In terms of unity and variety, all of the subtitles are in the same font, same size, and same color. However, there is variety in terms of the length of the text, also in terms of the Tiffany rectangle. This variety also draws people's attention to the current phase, the capstone phase. In terms of alignment, all subtitles and descriptions are left aligned. The whole timeline and the big title are left aligned too. These are the 3 layout models I used to have, but they all look really awkward. One thing I learned from putting things together by emulating the layout model is that it's possible that we can't put everything together in a good way. The white space in version is very awkward. The models are used to generate ideas and learn existing skills, but don't be afraid to change the models if they really doesn't work. So I changed mine in the last minute. The one on the left is the model I used, and it now looks really good. And the vertical layout is easy to convey information in order that we want our audiences to read from top to bottom. The edge of each section is white, so I also made the content concentrate in the center too. They are separated in terms of different sections. As you can see, it has the green top, and then it goes from white, blue, and white, blue. And they all have the same color for the end. One advice from experience: it's better to use the same model for at least 2 model requirements. You will save a lot of time thinking about what to how to put them together. Thank you for watching.